I was in the middle of filming a chrome haul video with some stuff that I got from Sweetie Nail Supply, and I was struggling with applying some of the chromes and getting them to stay on. And I came to realize there is a chance that the top coat I'm using is not ideal for chromes. I have a lot of different brands of top coats. So what I've decided I'm going to do is just a quick sample swatch of each of these top coats, then try a chrome over each one of them and see how it turns out. The same chrome all across the board and check out our different results. I use most of them for different reasons, depending on what I'm working on. My go-to is typically my Coupa, especially for my swatches, I should say, just simply because I find the price point is really good. So I use my Coupa for pretty much anything I'm doing that is not professional, going on a client or a set of press-ons that I'm sending to somebody. So this is what generally goes on all of my swatches. It's an excellent, excellent top coat. I love it. It is really good quality for the price. Just maybe not quite as high quality as possibly some of the other ones I have. And then of course, they're all kind of different. Some do way better over stamping than others. It just depends on what you're working on. Sometimes you want something thicker, sometimes you want something much thinner consistency. So there we go. I've just gone and put a sticker so that I can make sure and not mix any of these up. Nothing fancy, just to know what they are. They have all been out of the light for the same amount of time, so nothing is warmer than anything else. And I've just arranged them in kind of thickness of the top coat. So these are all of my no wipe top coats. And my Crazy Top standard is an overlay gel, but also a no wipe top coat. So that being my thickest, down to the Magic Gel Nail Guard Tackless Hyper Shine, which is very, very thin. First thing I'm going to do with each of these is just give them a quick wipe with alcohol. And starting with the Crazy Top. This is just picked up off of Amazon from a big multi-pack for very little. I think there was 30 colors or so in it. And I'm going to use the same for all of them. These chromes were notoriously a little bit picky when I've tried using them. So this way we'll kind of see how picky chromes react. So this is over Crazy Top Standard. So it's picking up easily on one section. Not so much on the others. Just gonna do a quick alcohol wipe. And I'm gonna give all of these a fair chance without going over the top to try and get them to apply. All right, so there's the Crazy Top. I may find that I have to try wiping all of these clean and starting all over again with a better chrome because, yeah, we're not getting very good results to start out here. I have had a notoriously tough time with these though. I mean, they work. They're just, oh, look at this one. This is making a difference. This is Gaudy. This is my Gaudy top coat. This one's a super, super thick one too. And I can just feel it gripping way better when I start rubbing it on. Now that looks good, but the true test comes if you take a microfiber cloth and just very lightly rub it to burnish in that chrome. And you don't want to see it all come off, right? Because the idea is that if this was your top coat or base coat that you're going in to cover that with, you don't want it all coming off on your brush. So quick wipe with alcohol, and I'm going to go back in again just once and see if it picks up better and stays better. Okay, our cloth. Look at that. Already we can see what a difference that was, right? Between the Crazy Top and the Gaudy. Again, this is not a matter of how good a top coat itself is or isn't, because this is chrome. It's totally different. So next I'm going in with Yogo. Not all top coats are made to go well over chrome or go well under chrome. Oh, this one feels like it's gripping really nice too. There's like this squeakiness that you feel when you got a good grip. It feels like your chrome is actually sticking as opposed to just kind of smearing all over it until you wipe it off. I don't know why I haven't actually followed through yet, but I've really been wanting to pick up a chrome specialty coat. I know that Daily Charm, I think, has one. And I do chrome a lot, so it would be nice to have something that's very specific for it that makes it work as well as possible. So finding the right tools can make all the difference sometimes between being super frustrated by something and actually loving to use it. That one worked quite well too. Next up, we have the Luxa Shine Yeah, see this, I do not feel like this is grabbing at all on this one. I don't feel like it likes it. But yet I love my Luxa Shine. It's a like medium thickness in my collection and I use it quite often. Yeah, look, that just wiped all away. Not having any luck with this one. So my Luxa does not want to stick. This next one is Bandai, and this one I'm actually thinking should do really well because it came in the Bandai Aurora Glaze set, which was including a bunch of chromes. So the idea should be that chrome goes really well over it. I'm feeling it kind of sticking, but not completely. I'm surprised. I thought this one was going to be way, way, way bigger success. Our next one is Koopa. Oh, I feel this sticking. You can even hear it. Oh, maybe you can't hear it, but from here, I can hear it. Whereas the other ones are just super slick and super fast moving, so you don't hear anything. Look at that, though. You take the brush to it, and I lost a lot of it. Quick swipe with alcohol. That one was doing okay. This one here, Dime Glossy Nails. Oh, look at that. I tore into my silicone tool really bad. Catching it on the edge of one of these. That sucks. They're really only $1 or $2 off of the discount apps, but still, it sucks not to have it. Or it sucks to have to order another one, especially since I don't want to put in any more orders for a while. Oh, this is such a fightful chrome, one that just does not behave very well. And this next one is Madam Glam. I'm wondering how annoyed you get with trying to use chromes. Is it something that you struggle with and give up, or struggle right through until you get a result that you really love? So it looks good right now, but the real test is going in with that microfiber cloth. Yep, kept it pretty good. And the last one we have is Magic Gel. Going with my alcohol, give it a wipe. And my best advice is if you are really struggling with chromes, and it doesn't matter what brand you've tried or what top coat you're using, it's all still a struggle, then just avoid like full coverage type nail ideas like this and go in with ones that are like iridescent that you're putting over top of something else. That way, if it's not going on perfectly and doesn't look really good, you're not going to notice it really. You're going to get that cool duochrome iridescent effect when you move the nail around, but you're not going to notice any of this like speckling or stuff not in the full coverage range because it's just adding that cool chromey effect over it. It's just doing this full coverage kind of look that can get like really difficult if you want something that looks smooth and consistent. Looks like we have a couple of definite winners, which I was not expecting at all, or at least not to be them anyway. Look at this Yogo and Gaudi. They really outperformed any of the rest of them. Madam Glam did pretty decent. Crazy Top, no way. Well, that one didn't go good. And the Lugs to Shine, forget it. But yeah, that Yogo and Gaudi really did a great job. But again, with your own top coats that you have at home, play around with them. Try a little less cure, a little more cure, doing them warm, as opposed to waiting until they cool down. There's lots of things that really do make a slight difference when you're applying your chromes that might give you better results. And again, these are chromes I got from Amazon. They're really cheap. They're not horrible, but they are a lot trickier to get good full coverage because these are a full coverage type of chrome, as opposed to like an iridescent just hint of a look. Hopefully that helps you out some and lets you realize that it's not necessarily you. Like, look at the difference in all of these that I just did right in front of you, all different brands. And again, I love all of these top coats. I use them all for different reasons. I do not have anything bad to say about any of them, but when it comes to using them specifically for chromes, you're going to notice there's a big difference. And I mean, that goes for any top coat for any particular reason. Like, I would not use my Crazy Top super thick to go over stamping. And I would not use my super thin Tackless Hyper Shine from Magic to go over glitters that are pokey, because that's not going to do it. This is going to do it, right? So it really depends on what your intention is when using your top coat. For generic, everyday use, there's different ones. Like, I like my Koopa, I like my Madam Glam, price point's nice and easy, and just a general top coat. But there are specific instances when you really need a different top coat to give you the best result. And chrome is one of those things. So there you go. Now, I wish I had a chrome specific gel that I could have included in this, like the one that Daily Charm does. And I think there's a few other companies, of course, that have them as well. I just have not noticed them when I've been shopping and remembered to pick them up. So I was having a hard time with how cruddy the chrome was doing on some of these top coats. So I'm going in with one of my chromes from the oil slick collection from Luxa to see if there's any better difference on it. Okay, I'll do it and then I'll show you the results. So here's just one application of Luxa on the Luxa Shine, and I rubbed really hard. I started noticing that if I rubbed harder on this one, that it was sticking better. So there's another thing you might have to do. Some of the chromes you're gonna have to rub really smoothly and lightly, and others you might have to really rub it in. Here I am burnishing that, and I'm rubbing quite hard. And look at that, it's got a perfect finish. I mean, there's a little bit there where you could go over it a bit more, right? A couple little spots that you can see. But really, over a white nail, or sorry, over a clear nail, look at that, that's phenomenal. And once you put black under it, then yeah, you don't notice that much at all. I haven't even done an alcohol wipe or a second coat or anything, and it did that well. And then here's the Bandai, and that's perfect too. Now these ones I was doing with the eyeshadow sponge applicator and rubbing it in really hard, and that's the result I got. It was really leaving a bad taste in my mouth just to leave it at that and make it seem like these other top coats are no good for doing chromes, which I do not believe to be the case. So I've gone and removed the orange because that chrome from Amazon was notoriously bad. I have a whole set of them and I've always struggled with getting them to do a full coverage chrome. So I'm removing all these. One of the things that I really noticed is that when it came to the gaudy, and I'm going to assume, oh, maybe not so much for the Yogo, they're way harder to get the chrome off of here than it was with the ones where they were not sticking well. Just with that, I would continue to think that the Yogo and the gaudy are kind of like the best ones that I personally have for chrome. This is one of my favorite colors of a shifting chrome. I have it in this one being Born Pretty. I have it in Luxa. I have a few different brands with this color. But a previous video that I did with comparisons, I found the Born Pretty one to work pretty much the same as any of the other ones. And I'm going to test it out. And the reason being that I'm not using my Luxa is it's very pricey. This stuff here being very cheap. Going in with the eyeshadow applicator to see if it makes a difference. Actually, I'm going to wipe this first with alcohol. It's picking up quite easily. Now remember, this is a Born Pretty, so a much less expensive chrome, but I use Born Pretty chromes all the time and have had a lot of success with them. And this is getting pretty much full coverage. Oh, I rubbed so hard there that I started rubbing it off. So quick alcohol swipe, and hopefully I'll be able to quickly fill all that in. Yep, look at it, pick the color up like right away on there. Okay. So that is on the Yogo. So you can see down here, not completely perfect, but I'm also not, trying to work at it to make it absolutely perfect. So we know Yogo works really well. And I got the worst of them, which was the Luxa Shine, to work really well. And the Bandai. The Crazy Top was another one that was really terrible with the orange. So a wipe. Let's see what it does with this one. Yeah, look at that. It's picking it up right away. Now I feel like I have to redo this whole video. Oh my goodness. Is there something to be learned from this that I can salvage all that footage and actually use it? I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess the fact that it does depend on your chrome. So look at that. The Crazy Top was terrible as well. It was not holding the color. But now with this one, it's doing quite well. It's holding much, much better. The Dime Glossy was another one that was not doing well. And now remember, I did try these with the sponge applicator with the orange from the Amazon chromes, and it was not working. This is Dime, which was not giving us very good results. And here we are with this Born Pretty and a sponge applicator, and we're doing great. Now this isn't quite as good. Let's see with a quick wipe. There, and that really did hold on. Now, just to play devil's advocate here, I'm going to go back in with my now kind of trashed silicone, if I can even, because it's ripped open and there's like goopies falling out. Let's try it on the Magic, which was not very good. Go in with the silicone tool. look at all the stuff that's wanting to squish out of there. Sorry, that was fascinating to me. Okay, that's working. Wait, so it was working with the silicone tool. I don't think as good as the brush though. Yeah, the brush, this eyeshadow brush is a lot better. I don't know if it's because I'm not worried about the pressure, like hitting the edges and ruining the tool, or if it's the actual spongy stuff on the applicator, but that one seemed to do it a little easier than the silicone tool. Let's try on the gaudy, because that one was excellent last time. Yeah, I feel like the silicone, well, no, I guess if you just keep rubbing, I felt like maybe it doesn't rub it in as well. Yes, the eyeshadow applicator just works better. It just buffs it in a lot better than the silicone does. It does, it works better. Look at that, like it's just doing nothing until I wipe it with alcohol. That's so funny. Give it a wipe. Let it sit for a second. And now it's sticking. Just really needs that alcohol wipe to get it kind of, I don't know, it seems like activated. Maybe that's what it's doing. Yep, it'll work just as good. So while I finish up this one, the conclusion is it's not just about your top coat, not just about your chrome, and not just about your applicator. It's kind of everything. So some top coats are going to have a much easier time dealing with your chromes. In all of these, the Gaudy and the Zombie, regardless of what I was using, worked excellent. Simple, quick, easy, phenomenal. The other ones with the really cheapy chrome, it's not even about being cheap, sorry. It's the quality, the type, I don't know. I got them on Amazon. They'll be really cool to use to mix into like a clear polish or something. And I'm sure I can use them that way, or I'll find ways to use them. But as far as doing a solid nail with that chrome, yeah, it's not ideal. It's not really working. And then on top of that, your applicator. So if the top coat was working really well, that silicone applicator, no problem. It'll do it. But if your top coat doesn't hold quite as well, or your chrome maybe isn't as ideal, then stick with your old-fashioned eyeshadow applicator and you might find you have better luck. There we go. So you can get a good effect on any of them, all of them, right? But by using that cheapy chrome, I guess it wasn't a fail at the end of it all, because it really showed us easily which ones stick better with chrome than others. And again, this one here is a Born Pretty chrome. It's not super expensive or super high end or anything else like that. You can get it on most of the discount sites. So I just wanted to use something a little bit cheaper so you could see that it's not necessarily about your chrome. This one here is from Luxa. This one here is from Born Pretty. And when I compared the two on a previous video, I really didn't find that much of a difference. This one, however, is much more expensive than this one. What it comes down to is it's not just the chrome. You can see these ones I did with the Luxe brand, and they went on perfect and beautiful and smooth, worked really well. But I bet you if I did it with this Born Pretty, I'm going to get the exact same results because they had the same results all over on these ones, right? So it's about more than just one product. If you're struggling to use, say, a silicone applicator, try an eyeshadow one. If you're struggling with your top coat, try a different one if you have it. If you're struggling with your chrome, check around. Maybe it's not an ideal chrome. I have found that the majority of the chromes out there work quite well, especially if it is a company that does nail art stuff like that, like chromes. The ones that I got off of Amazon were just kind of a random brand, and they may not have been formulated quite well for doing nail art chrome. So if you're sticking to something like, you know, Born Pretty, that's a cheaper price point, or one of those types of brands, you're going to find that you're probably going to get much better results than something completely random off of Amazon. And you don't necessarily have to go out and spend a fortune on these Korean gel brands like Blanc Blanc and Bonnie B and stuff, although you may be absolutely in love with them like I am and find it well worth it to spend the extra money on them. Because in some cases they work so much better and it's just easier. You don't have to fuss with it nearly as much. This video ended up taking on a life of its own. It was not even intended today, but so be it. Hopefully that was in some way helpful to you guys and not just a big, huge, long ramble. I find that it is really good for me to try out my products and try out different ways and different techniques to see what works and doesn't work, so that you're not continuously doing the same thing and getting frustrated because of the results. So if it had turned out, say, that one of these brands did not chrome and did not want to chrome and just was fighting it and it was not working, it would be like, oh, that's really good to know. I'm going to save that top coat for polish only and not use chrome over it, because why frustrate myself, right? So yeah, figuring out what your products are doing and how they're working for you with other products is always a good way to go, because it might save you some frustration in the long term. All right, this was very impromptu. This was not what I was expecting to do at all, but it was kind of a necessity for the other video that I was working on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, if you want to see more videos kind of like this, just let me know, drop a comment, and I will see what I can do to try and make more content that offers you this kind of information. And of course, as always, until next time, don't forget to love your nails. Bye.